season we're coming in and the birth of your son. We thank you for what he did on that cross from my sins. Forgive me where I failed, we ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You should have, visitor comments. Garrett, is there anything that you would like to say? This is our director from the Lake Berkeley Partnership. You got anything? Okay, that's in the report. Appreciate that. I see no other visitors, so you should have a copy of the minutes from the special call of October 20th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept those as printed.
So moved.
Motion by Magistrate Cummings.
Second.
Second by Magistrate Sutton. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Road Department update.
Smith, they got our paving done for the fall here. They get Converse and Button out of it, they yet, so both those roads are done. Ferguson Road is gonna move up to December 8th for the bridge closure there and replacement. Unless they change it again, just like we closed last week. Then cleaning around the shop, inside our shop and old shop there, Steve, and different ones that are really done a good job on that. The load mower, we've got some parts ordered for it, load cap on hydraulic tank. It's plastic. They can't get one just with this, we're gonna get the whole insert, it's gonna be January before we get here. It's coming from Semi and Nashville, which is just coming from Alamo and Tiger, so they're gonna have to make it, right understood. I got done in Bush Hog last month, we went up to Bush Hog Circuit Park. The 115 case factory's got 8,017 irons on it, so I mean, that's something we need to possibly be looking into, is it? And the 110, the case boom works a little over 6,000 one day also. And then, of course, cardboard trailer went last week, paper goes tomorrow, and we loaded down a load of tires this morning from the tires.
They were doing some coal mixing this morning, or coal patching. They've been cleaning out the shop. Did you say that? I'm sorry if we did.
Been working over here some too.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work in here. And they still got to lay the trim and everything back, but they did a lot. We have some Mark Bicey and Mark Lewis, carpenter and electrician, to be able to do a lot of things in-house is really helpful. Anything else?
I think they couldn't lay the carpet.
We appreciate it, Jason. All right, Brandon Batts. You all, Brandon was gone at the last meeting, so this is our new Lyon County EM director. Brandon also works Lyon County EMS as a paramedic and a shift supervisor. A lot of experience, 21, 22 years of experience as a first responder. 24. But just, get a chance, speak with Brandon afterwards, but I think he does have a request in regards to a deputy EM, if you want to talk about that.
So, we talked about getting a deputy in, I mean, of course, it'd be volunteer, so we don't have to pay him. I've already got the gentleman picked out, it's Everett Carlson. He works for Bowling Green Fire Department, he's got a lot of experience there, he's a younger guy.
He lives here locally, but still works at Bowling Green full-time.
But we're trying to get some younger blood in here, and, just to help out. And then I also talked to Debbie possibly, she was talking about getting me a new vehicle. And then since it is volunteer for him, possibly the old EM truck that I'm driving, if we could possibly let him have it. To give him a vehicle to have, to respond in. So, that's about it. You guys got any questions for me, or?
He would definitely not be paid. Brandon works at EMS on Thursdays and Fridays, so if something came up and Everett was not at Bowling Green also, Randy did a lot, and it's a lot to do on your own, and Randy was completely retired all the way around.
Yeah.
Brandon is not, completely retired, and I do think it is good to bring somebody else in to help, and, Dale Hawks has also said he would volunteer to help Brandon anytime he needed it, if he needed help, so.
What's this gentleman's name? What's his name?
Everett Carlson.
Is that his typical days off, when you're,
Well, he works on a 24/48 schedule, so he works 24, then off for 48.
And then
So his
so
changes
it's
all the
every
time.
day, yeah, it
But-
changes.
You know, we've talked with Michael, and he's, if something were to happen, once my part of it as being a paramedic, taking care of a patient, or something at the school like we had a few weeks ago, as soon as we got that taken care of, then I would switch over to the EM.
Does he live here?
He lives on Westdale, I believe, right down from the fire department. He's on Oakland Fire, and he is also an EMT. I think he helps at Trick County, EMS on occasion when they might need somebody.
Trying to get him moved over to here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just,
I got one request. If we pass that truck and can we get some exhaust put on it?
You're about the 10th person that's.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to get the exhaust bit. I agree.
Well, so I guess what happened was the factory exhaust rusted out, it was cheaper to put an aftermarket exhaust on it, I don't know, how they picked that one, but that's the one they got on, we could probably put a muffler on it,
The muffler, yeah,
but
they're.
calm down just a stitching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can probably ride it to the courthouse when it starts. If you've never heard it.
Yeah.
when you was young, you liked it, so.
Well, I did like that.
It's a young person's exhaust for sure.
The older I get, the less I want to hear it.
You can hear me coming, that's for one thing. I ain't seen
Yes,
it.
you're not sneaking anywhere. Does anybody have any questions for Brandon in regards to that? There's a form that would be filled out and sent to Kentucky EM for the approval, and then, I would potentially swear him in on Wednesday if that got approved, but there's no pay. We do fill out a form, very similar to the team, like workman's comp form, that would be all part of the EM, but I just think it would,
I think it's a good idea.
instead of putting everything on one person's shoulder to kind of.
well, I can take my own.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor to help out more in the counties.
Very good.
All right, you should have a copy of the second reading of the budget amendment. The first one was in October, this will be the second, so I will entertain a motion to accept the budget amendment as printed. Motion by Master Cummins, second by Master Ballard. Clerk, Mr. Wilson, county attorney's not here, so I'm gonna try to do this part on the, this will be the second and final reading of ordinance number 05-2025. For some reason, I thought this was amendment 2, maybe it is amendment 5. An ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas Lyon County, Kentucky has realized unbudgeted receipts, be it ordained by Lyon County of the Commonwealth of Kentucky for the current fiscal year 2025-2026. Revenues received, total amended revenues $634,178.55. Total amended expenditures, same $634,178.55. Going to account 024901, $584,439.83, and account 034901, $49,738.72. This will be the final reading of the budget amendment ordinance number 05-2025. A full copy can be obtained in the Lyon County Judge Executive's office during normal business hours. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Brent, please.
Here it comes.
Your turn, Sheriff, on the ambulance surplus.
I apologize, I used the numbering system where it goes This is the second of, this one will start after the first of the year, thank you. This
I
one's-
got Lynn's copy, I'll make it in this thing.
This will start after the, first of the year. This is some of our military, surplus equipment that either the county road department doesn't have use for, or other entities don't have use for, so we're gonna go ahead and sell what is demilitarized. It's, type code A that allows us to disperse of some of this stuff. There's still some title work that I have to do with the county clerk's office. But we'll sell what we can, and we'll go ahead and then be working to get titled. We have a new company we're utilizing, it's called Big Iron. We did an auction with them a few weeks ago. It was probably the easiest one we've ever done. We have a local rep that lives in Lyon County, Mr. David Herring, he works for that company. Part of the reason we switched is the company we went with, they downsized, and we had several reps in Western Kentucky, and we lost all our reps, so we went with a different company. There's a couple of things that they cannot do for us. Some of the impound lot stuff they can't do, because when we have liens on vehicles, we have to go through a different company, it looks like, but we're trying to massage all that out. This is, we're trying to keep it separate between the impound lot and then a lot of this. And there's some impound lot stuff on here, but this is mostly military surplus with one of our agency vehicles, got $195,000 we get rid of. And a lot of it is, some of it will be scrapped probably, because I don't know what will pass the auction inspection and what will not until the rep comes out and looks at all that stuff. So that's why I put to sell to the public or to salvage. But when I say salvage, that means scrap. But anyway, we made about a little over $25,000, I think, off that last auction, which was very helpful because our repair budget on our current fleet of vehicles needs some infusion in. If you all will oblige us when we get to there. Any questions?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is lost that. Thank you all very much.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the sheriff's surplus vehicle list as amended. Do you have a second? Second by Master Fowler. Any other questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, you should have a list from the Lyon County Fiscal Court for 3 items for surplus. So dog warden is the 2002 Chevy S10 pickup that Mr. Kennis drove before. Unknown miles. Jason hauled it to the impound lot because it's gonna have to have a new transmission, motor, engine. It already had some replacement parts in there. They tried to fix it, hence why we had to get a new one. And so I think it's the recommendation to probably take it for scrap and not sell it for public, just to salvage it. And then there's a Cub Cadet commercial mower. Jason took a picture if anybody wants to see it. It's not usable, I know that, Jason. What was?
We used it, and they kept pulling a belt, I don't remember if it was a drive belt or a hay belt, so that's when Brett, that used one of the military was there, so.
It would be just sold as is for bid. And then there's a 1996 Chevy pickup with approximately 23,000 miles. This was at the rescue squad, which is now at the park. The air conditioner doesn't work on it. It's not being driven. The park guys have had several issues with it. And it's just sitting there pretty much dry. And so those are the 3 that I have for the court, if anybody has any questions. We have a motion by Magistrate Cummins, second by Magistrate Sutton to approve the Lyon County Fiscal Court surplus list. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passed. All right, we should have a copy of the amendment to the employee holiday calendar. So when we passed this in December of '24, I don't know if the state doesn't put their calendar out then, but I could have swore that Ms. Kim Duncan gave it to us, and these were the days
Me, I think they deserve it, because, I mean, it's been a trying year, and everybody's done above and beyond what they're supposed to do, and I just think it's a way to say thank you to our employees. And I'll make the motion to amend it.
Have a motion by Magistrate Cummins,
Second.
second by Magistrate Sutton. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, you should have, it probably came separate when you're in your other stack. For the vehicles.
But I can talk.
No, I got it.
What's your, Boston, it's on one I got.
Okay. On my desk is gonna be stacks. Should have vehicle information. Yes, so the first one we're gonna look at is, the jailer's vehicle. So Jailer Galusha has asked for another Durango, the vehicle that Roy Jean, drives. We have to have 3 estimates. So the one that Roy Jean Travis drives, we have had in the shop several times over the last 2 months. And he's asking to replace that vehicle. Now that we've done the budget amendment, he will have money to buy, that vehicle. So you should have one from Bachman for $35,944. $35,944. Then another one from Bachman for $42,490. Then you have one from Freedom Dodge for $34,569. Another one from Don Franklin for $48,139. Another one from Don Franklin for $45,825. So you have to have at least 3 if you do the state price contract. My recommendation would either be Bachman, we have purchased from them before, they're $35,944, or Freedom Dodge for $34,569. I'm not sure that technically if either one of them has any in stock, I believe they have to be ordered.
We bought something that was in India.
That's just Bachman's group.
Oh.
They have they're actually they're in Louisville. He's got several. Bachman Chevrolet, they've got several.
This is just the vehicle, it's not, in-house, right?
I'll say that again.
It won't have the cage and all that in it.
I don't think so, no, it won't.
Is Steve not able to show up?
No, I have not heard from him. It's not over the 40,000, it doesn't have to be bid, I got the 3 estimates. That I would either do Freedom, you bought from Freedom before, I bought from Freedom when I was in.
Freedom, we bought from Freedom, Don Franklin,
We bought from all of them.
and from the one in Frankfurt now, so.
Freedom's $1,000 cheaper, $1,400 cheaper.
it's so confusing now, with certain brands, you have to get in on the book order, and the book doesn't open but for a few weeks. When it does open, you never know when it's gonna open. I'm assuming these are the ones that are on the lots on some of them.
Well, they're 2026 directives, I mean,
They may not be, they may be on.
no, and I think they were ordering,
Well, Dodge doesn't have the book order system that Ford does. It's a little bit cumbersome, more cumbersome on Ford right now. But I think Dodge still has to open what they consider like the open market, where they'll put a bunch out there.
Don't think it's higher. Because these are pursuit vehicles,
yes, we're not going for a pursuit.
these are
I
just
said no pursuit, yeah.
GT vehicles.
That will save you considerable money, and probably save you some cash.
There's no reason to have a pursuit vehicle, we're talking transport from point A to point B. No reason to have a pursuit vehicle. So I would either look at, or approving, say like up to 36,000 for me to be able to call either Bachman or Freedom and see what the time frame is on how long it would take to get one, if they have them on the lot, so that we can get him one. Because it doesn't have to be bid, but it is over. I got the 3 quotes for the state price contract.
That's new for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Did they start like that?
Well-
They never-
Yeah, we did too. The auditors.
Thankfully, we had done it a while back just to see what was out there. Yeah, if it's below 40, if it's above 40, even with master service agreement
It's still,
contract in place where we didn't have to do before, now you have to get 3 quotes.
it says it will be the responsibility of the agencies utilizing this master agreement to obtain 3 quotes, or to obtain quotes from a minimum of 3 awarded dealers. So Bachman has one, Freedom has one, and Don Franklin has one. And so you have to get an estimate from all 3 and then pick one.
What's interesting to me is that I don't think there's a parameter on time. So like, I got one part of the year, that was for the same model.
Yep.
And then I got 2 estimates in another part of the year for the same model, and there were pretty good difference.
So amount you have to get 3 bids for?
Our admin code says anything, I think, over 10, but
I thought we changed that, I thought that thing was over 30.
The state law
It's
changed.
state
I don't know if
law
you
is
change-
40,000.
I don't know if you change the admin code, but if you would, it would make things a lot easier.
40,000 bid has to be sealed bid. 10, I think it's over 10, I would have to have 3 quotes anyways. I'm not gonna buy something over 10,000 without coming to the court first, I mean.
But it is confusing, you know, the state went to 30, and then not very long after that, they went to 40. And there is a difference between, you know, big difference in our admin code versus state law. I understand what the judge is saying too, it is just, it caught us both off guard in your all's last audit, because I had to dig all that up, which is not fair, but you all were about to be audited, like if I did something wrong with that, it wouldn't have came back on me on that one, it would have came back on you all, which is not really fair. But thankfully, everything's good, I mean, it just still, it's just kind of confusing.
Jimmy's even one of these, you don't have to go inside.
I don't think they do. I would have to email them and ask, but I'm pretty sure on the 26th they hadn't hit the lots yet, if I remember.
I move the court approve up to 36,000 and allow the judge to file these 2 lots to see what everything else.
I'll say.
Alright, so we have a motion by Master Sutton and a second by Master Fowler to approve the judge executive to purchase a vehicle up to 36,000 after communicating with Bachman Chevrolet and Freedom Dodge for a 2026 Durango for the jail. Any other questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passed. Alright, it's the same with the next set. You should have a copy for the emergency management vehicle. Emergency management is the next step. Okay. So I submitted a request to the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. I'm waiting on approval from them. So there are funds that we receive and can spend towards, special projects. And so I'm asking for $6,000, it's on that first cover sheet, $6,847.68 to spend towards a new EM vehicle. So there's a lot of equipment that, Brandon and Randy have to carry around, a drone and different things, plumb cases. Well, Randy had taken the back seat out of the pickup truck. And so it would be more advantageous to get, Brandon more of an SUV type vehicle. And so we were looking at the 2026 Chevy Equinox. And that is $28,762. And then, of course, I'm asking for $6,000, almost $7,000 back from the state. So the county would be out about $22,000. I got another estimate from Bob Book, they want $29,294. And then, unfortunately, Don Franklin would not bid or quote it. There's an email, the very last thing that you all should have is an email stating they would not quote it. But they had a Grand Cherokee that we could look at. No, that's $43,000. So I think with all the stuff that Brandon's gotta have and carry, that would be good. I will tell you, left in the land and consistency tribal funds, there's still money left in there to where we could, purchase that vehicle. If anybody wants to see what's left in those funds.
All right, I got a question.
Absolutely.
Between Bob Hooks and Bachman, Bachman's just a two-wheel drive. Is that what I'm looking at?
I believe it was, okay, let me go back.
What is it?
But I thought it was all-wheel drive.
It's all-wheel drive.
It's all-wheel drive.
So Bob Hooks is all-wheel drive as well. So I don't see what, whether we can get a discount of $3,700 and Bob Hooks state discount is $3,200. Am I looking at that right?
Yes, 3201 state discount for Bob Hook and 3733 for Bachman.
Okay. That was the question, I was make sure it's four-wheel drive, because I mean, if he's gonna be out in one,
Yeah.
you've got to have
It's all-wheel drive.
four-wheel drive or something.
So are these in stock?
So I do know the one from Bachman, they ordered a couple of extra, and they were 6 to 8 weeks out, so he could potentially have it by the end of the year.
It's the cheapest one, right?
It is. But I'm not gonna order it until I hear back from the state to know that they're gonna give us that $7,000. Cause I wanna make sure we get that money, and then with the government just opening back up, I'm sure it'll be just a little bit before they tell me.
That's federal.
It's state money, but it comes, I think, from the federal end of the Kentucky EM program, because our contract is on hold at the moment.
What color is Grace and metallic?
So what color is that? Is that a gray color?
This one is Any concerns about that? Good?
I don't have concerns.
All
I
right.
have no concerns, whatever you want to do, I appreciate it.
We're gonna do a motion.
Yeah, I would do it on the motion to approve contingent on the state approving the $6,800 to go towards it. And we have a motion by Magistrate Cummins, we have a second by Magistrate Fowler, to approve the purchase of an EM vehicle using the land and water travel consistency funds with the state approving $6,847.68 towards the purchase of the vehicle from Bachman Chevrolet of $28,762.
Brent, when you build, you made it a car.
What's that?
When you build, you made that car, that we're buying this one car for the Jackson.
We could potentially use it as another transport vehicle, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I mean, while we're on the vehicle kick here, Jason, how many vehicles you got wore out?
The fleet, all of the.
Exactly. So at some point in time, we're gonna have to sit down and try to figure out something.
And last week, we just found, I forgot to mention it earlier, the one ton rear lights, the floorboard is rotted and never down.
Yeah.
So that'll be on December's, because that will have to be bid, because theirs is well over 40,000. So if it doesn't hit December's meeting by the advertisement schedule, it'll be January's. But I will go ahead and call and start, to see if anybody has anything, and then we have to bid it. Is that, again, on that budget amendment,
I know we got trucks out there
that allows for that.
rusting out like crazy.
Mine's starting to show up under the cab, it's got 150, nearly 152,000 on it. March, we just got the doors and all fixed on it, now it's dead starting, it's the same model. And then the rear lights, it's got 115 on it, with the forward right out.
But that's when we gotta go back and start looking at these vehicles at 100,000 miles.
Well, I met with them, they've done a lot, so they started cleaning out all the buildings, organizing everything, listing everything of what, anything that needed to be surplus, they gave stuff back to Brent to go back on the surplus from military that they don't use. And so they're cleaning all of that out and listing those vehicles with mileage and any issues, so that we can start getting them on a sustainability list to start replacing those as they need to be replaced. Tractors, vehicles, the, boom mower. So
I know
they're
we talked about leasing in the past, and me and Holly, we've talked about this several times. Is that maybe an option that we need to look at again?
leasing the trucks or leasing the
Tractors and
tractors.
stuff like that.
We can ask.
Yeah, I don't see why not, I mean, from what I've seen, it would be feasible, but then you get into the fine print stuff, you know, if there's some up, and that goes to cost more, but I mean, it's something to look into, that's for sure. And then we need to rotate them out every 3 or 4 years.
I mean, we can look into leasing to the company that has a tractor, or you can go through Keiko as well, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know, you have to know, we have to find out what the difference would be to the company that has a tractor in Keiko.
Right.
I think I talked to.
Well, I just think
that thing from Keiko, he said something about lease to own,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I don't know, I'll have to
Exact detail with him, but
do research on that one, I'm not sure on that. I know you did the dump truck, but I don't know about that other, I have no idea.
I know, man.
Yeah, but all the things we have to fix. The land and travel consistency fund, land and water travel consistency fund. She was asking me what it stood for. I have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
I guess.
Land and travel consistency fund and land This will be the first and only reading of resolution 2025-11. Resolution adopting and approving the execution of a memorandum of agreement between the Lyon County Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, for in the amount of $537,747 for the Ferguson Road Bridge project. And be it resolved by the fiscal court that the fiscal court does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said agreement, and does hereby accept the funds provided in said agreement, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated, and the judge executive of the county is hereby authorized and directed to sign said agreement as set forth on behalf of the fiscal court of Lyon County, and the fiscal court clerk of Lyon County is hereby authorized and directed to certify thereto. That's the first and only reading of resolution 2025-11. All in favor, any other questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Hey, Jason, when they get started on that, do they say a timeline?
No.
I'm assuming that is in the property.
Because they won't be able to pay the bridge in or anything either, so. But, I mean, once they get the bridge in, if not, we can always fill an expense and open it back up. I've not heard timeline on either Bernie Master or any of those either.
Birdie was, pushed to the fall. I will email him and find out if he has a date. I knew he said it was gonna be late fall. What they're trying to do, and I think why they pushed it back to December 8th, is the state is making the contractors that are doing these bridges, that when they close that bridge and they tear it out, that they're almost ready to come back with the bridge replacement, instead of it being an extended period of time. So, yeah,
That's what I understood it, they wouldn't tell so long.
yeah. But we have Matt Lyons, one of our Lyon County residents, that I think is overseeing that project, so hopefully we'll get some weekly updates, unlike the friendship one. All right, you should have an estimate for the sound system for the courtroom. So currently, we only have one speaker, which is right down here on the floor, and the mics are wired in. We're looking to go wireless mics, have wireless speakers in the back so that the public can hear, anytime that we're talking. And even if we have other meetings in here, we could use it for that as well. This would potentially come out of the reserve, this amount. And as you can tell, we've done a lot. The carpet's been laid, the road department's gonna put the trim back and the baseboards. They've done a lot. This will eventually be flush to the front, and it'll look a lot better. But we would like to upgrade the sound system. It'll be able to record, so we won't have the digital recorder, and it won't necessarily have the audio or the video. It does it all for us, and it'll store it. It'll make it a lot better.
Sounds good to me. I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Magistrate Cummins. Can I hear a second? Just wanna make sure I have
Is this the only place that does it?
So that's the one that they've used, I think in the past, and Tom has gotten some things from them for the convention center. I do have another one. I had a company come in. I did not even put it in here because it was $29,000.
Oh.
So.
They better have TVs with it.
It had a lot more. It had a control thing. Instead of the iPad being used to record, that iPad would actually control the sound system and the camera. So, All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, so you should have a copy of the task order for Rostan. So if you remember, we approved up to 10,000, for them to do all of the paperwork from the April storms. It's actually, probably gonna go over the 10, and so I request to amend it up to 15,000. And so that's what that order is. I could actually sign this, without the court's approval, but I wanted you all to see it and to know that, I would like to increase it to 15, because I think we all had originally voted on the 10, but I just wanna bring it to your all's attention. So, yeah. We have a motion by Master Fowler, second by Master Sutton.
We renew their contract.
So I believe their contract will also come up, I have to go back and look, I don't wanna say it and be wrong.
I thought it was 5 years.
I thought it was 5, I have asked to rebid Promised Land, the tree contract, that one has actually expired. And so I'm looking to bid it, or rebid it, so that contract will come up, and I think this one will be as well, very soon. I'd have to go back and look.
Well, it's almost been 4 years.
21 and 22 is when it
Oh,
went
we
in.
redid that though, like, a couple years ago.
On Promised Land, it was good for 3 years, and it went out at the beginning.
We did,
I can't remember.
I thought it was a 3-year contract, but maybe it was 5.
I've got it wrote down.
I know that's a lifesaver.
All they have to, like, everything they're doing right now for all of our roads and everything, yes. There's no way that my office could do it, or Jason's. I mean, the stuff that they ask for and they have to put in. Any other questions on that? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, we have no interfund transfers, just regular transfers, as you can see. Does anybody have any question on the transfers? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the transfers as printed. Motion by Magistrate Cummins, second by Magistrate Fowler. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. You should have a copy of the financial statement, the appropriations, and the revenue, which is the finance officer's report. Should have a copy of the treasurer's report, the clerk's report, and the sheriff's report. I think the sheriff has an addition to his report.
Thank you, Judge. Magistrate Fowler asked us to conduct a road survey and speed assessment on Hampton Creek Road, and we did that, gladly did that, and I submitted that report to you all by memorandum. I think we're in agreement about what needs to happen there. I will just say this, I think it was done previously, and what happened when that road was paved, those signs were taken down, I think is what happened, but they couldn't find it
I
on
can't
the
find
law,
it.
and I'm pretty sure since I've been sheriff, it was there, but it may not have got done officially, so if at the pleasure of the court, my recommendation is 35, and based upon that information, if you've ever looked at one of those Nixon manuals, that's pretty in-depth. I didn't think it was necessarily, we didn't have to go into the weeds with this one, it was pretty easy based upon the topography and everything like that, in a short amount of route with that, but if you have any questions about how we come up with that, just give me a shout, I'll be happy to explain. The next thing is, just a couple more updates, tax bill collection is going fine. We've had some technological hiccups this time with our tax vendor. It's our credit card company. It's allowing bills to be paid twice. And so that's been just a little bit of a problem, for us, but kudos to Denise and Denise Sutton, Don Collin, Lori Francis, well, she's still out, but, she was here beforehand, and Kenny Crawford, who's still out. They did the cross training, and those ladies have been wonderful, during this time, to get everything. We're a little over 80%, I think. It'll show like 79.9% on our dashboard right now, but when you take exonerations into effect, it's probably about 83%. So we probably have about 1,500 bills that are still unpaid on the tax side, which means, out of 8,000 bills, that's pretty good, you know, so, there's usually about 390, 400 bills that don't get paid, every year, so that kind of gives you a snapshot of where we're at. We expect to process about 1,200 bills between now and the close, which is April 15th. The next thing I want to tell you is, I received 18, 19 pages of Supreme Court orders today about our judicial bill. And I have not had a chance to digest this yet, but it looks like they are going to force me to have some increased staff with respect to court security. We're nowhere near our cap that they told us that we should have, but I guess this new order is dated today by the Supreme Court Chief Justice Deborah Lambert. I've got to meet with Circuit Judge Rand, our Chief Circuit Judge, after I've had time to digest it this week, but it's going to mandate how many people we have and where during certain court events. I cannot do that with the amount of staff I have right now, because I can only work on 99 hours a month. And we're consistently having court events over there just about every day of some kind. And so the only way I can do it is if some guys would agree to come in just for 2 hours a day. Who really wants to do that? You know, some people don't mind that. But some people are taking off from one job to work this job with us, and so with the small amount of money they get, it's kind of difficult to do that. But anyway, of course, the state reimburses us for not for the equipment, but they reimburse us a set amount per hour, and of course they can't get benefits like they would if they were full-time employees. So if you see me I'll coordinate all this with the judge's office, but if you see me doing that, if you want to look at this, you're welcome. I'll be happy to send this to you. But it's pretty in-depth. It's the most in-depth order I've seen about our courts in a long time. There may be some county implications here from the facility standpoint. Have you got this yet?
I haven't got it yet. I'll tell you, I knew or I thought it would be coming. Several of the other judge executives have been talking about it, and then Chief Justice actually spoke to us at the Fiscal conference. And so I figured something was coming.
So this is just not directed towards us, it's state.
No, it's statewide.
This is going, I think, to every county, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly right. And the good thing about us is they put us up on a pedestal sometimes because we try to do things right here, and I'm proud of that. And all the credit goes to our staff over there. One of them just came in here a minute ago. But we are kind of centrally located in the circuit, and so many of the court events that we have in our judicial building are not even Lyon County events. They're Livingston County, Caldwell County, Tree County, in addition to ours. And we're okay with that because they reimburse us for that, and that is fee money that comes back to the court. So it offsets it for us. It's kind of a wash for you all as a court. And it probably keeps that facility more secure that way. But, you know, like this Wednesday, we have district court most of the day. We also have a circuit court trial going on. So I'll have to have 5 personnel at minimum over there. We go by those new standards. I'm probably supposed to have 7 over there.
We only got 6.
Yeah, so, the very last thing I want to tell you is, I think you all know, our office is part of a couple of federal task forces we've been operating under. Those have been going well. We've successfully diverted several people that would have otherwise been county jail inmates that would have been picked up by the Kentucky State Police out on the interstate to Homeland Security holds in other facilities that does not cost the taxpayer of Lyon County, as far as from the county taxes, any money. And that partnership is actually working very well on that, so I'm very appreciative of that. The reason I bring that up is because the federal government, y'all were talking about about fleet today, and it's very timely for the last thing I'm gonna tell you, is are about to receive about just a little more than $152,000 to our office, and it can only be spent on vehicles and equipment. And so we're gonna get two, I think, what we're gonna do, it's actually as many vehicles as you can buy with that money, but it has to be a minimum of one. And what I think we can do is I think we can buy two, and I think we can outfit with that money. And I think there might even be just a little bit of money left over. If we do that, we have to prioritize their use. We can use them for patrol. There's a question about whether they can be marked or not. But for a 36-month time period, if this task force needs them with our personnel and they're assigned to the task force, they're supposed to be in that vehicle and they're supposed to be utilizing that. So, but we get to retain ownership. Yes, we do have the maintenance costs of brand new vehicles and being under warranty, but then we get to keep them afterwards, after that, this task force, and we can use them. We can use them while we're doing it for whatever purpose. It's just if we get a task force request, we have to prioritize that at that time. So I think that's probably what we're going to do with that. Respectfully, our fleet is just like everybody else's. It's getting pretty rough. I appreciate you saying that earlier, because transports are what puts our fleet at the high mileage. And we remember the 3 cars we bought from Missouri. So my lowest mileage car was 3. We transported it to a local shop. They said, "Hey, it's got to go to Dodge." We had to take it out of state by record. Marty Sennett's bunch took it out of state. It's at the Dodge dealership. It's got cylinders going down, and the engine, we're just outside the warranty of it. So, there's things that are beyond our control, but we maintain them good so far. We've had those cars have done well, but even with us potentially getting these other 2 cars, we still need to stay on that rotation where we have 1 car each year, like we've been doing, because the judge and you all helped us out with that grant last time, and we're going to keep that momentum going to where we're getting ready to hire 2. We give conditional offer of employment to 2 of our deputies, candidates that you all provided the money for, and we hope they start the academy in February. And so the cars that are out back here are those cars that they would like to be driving, and so we're doing things right now to get them ready, and we're also getting ready to hire an SRO. We've had 600 inquiries for SRO position that the school is going to fund, which will be the 3rd one, and we have a car. We're actually going to use, I think, that car that you all surplus to us that was from the jailer previously. We've taken it to the shop, we've got it back in shape, we put some equipment in it, and so I think we'll be able to use that, salvage that car to be just fine for an SRO car. So that's all I have. Y'all have any questions?
Is there a reason, excuse me, is there a reason why they want another SRO officer at school?
Yes, sir.
Are they going to try to keep one at each school?
Yes, sir. That is the goal of Senate Bill 1, is there's supposed to be one in every school in Kentucky. What I will tell you is that Senate Bill 1 mandates the school system to do that. And they have to either enter into a contract with a local law enforcement agency, or they have to have an agency of their own to be able to, like McCracken does, they have their own police agency. Our school's elected to contract with us. There's a provision in that allows for the population of the schools. It's an either or. Either have one in every school, which is the ultimate goal of Senate Bill 1, or if there's a certain amount of population, they have to have one more commensurate with that population. Now, their numbers are over 2, but less than 4, kind of thing. And so, if we had one more, we would have one for each school, and they would be covered. After the incident we had up there, it really didn't have anything to do with the deployment of SRO. We found out really quickly it would have been a lot better had we have had an SRO in each school that particular day. And I think the Board of Education at their meeting, I think the judge was there, I was out of town, but they expressed their desire to contract with us for another SRO. And so we've had 6 inquiries. Some that were really good candidates as far as they have the certification, which is a separate certification under Kentucky Law Enforcement Council's POP certification is a separate certification. And then we've had some that have had no certification, and some that have actually had all the way the 1, 2, and 3 certifications. So We have a man coming in on Monday of next week to look at our facilities and finalists in that process. And if all goes well, we will have that person in place by the start of the school in January. The school board gave the authority of the superintendent to negotiate that with me, and we're still in those negotiations now.
My other question was, on the judicial center, how many people you gotta have over there?
Well, we're authorized for 18.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
it's
it's-
16.
Yeah, but let me explain. We're really only authorized for 16 because we utilize Lori Francis, who does all our paperwork for that function, which is a big task. Because she's CSO qualified, she actually qualifies to be a supervisor in that position. She does some supervisory work, mainly all our reimbursement paperwork. Then Inspector does the operations supervisory work, but he's part-time. So because we have one full-time, that is paid for out of that, that takes us down to 2 on that. So we're down to 16 that we can have. The reason why that number is the amount that it is they categorize certain numbers of security officers they have to be trained certified. They can't work over 99 hours a month. And so when certain events are happening in the judicial building, like when there's a judge in the building, maybe they're not having court, maybe there's a family court type cases that are going on in district or circuit court, there's a formula for how many officers are supposed to be present and where they're supposed to be stationed. Previously, they let me decide that. Now it looks like the Supreme Court of Kentucky has decided that for us, and they want it more uniform across the state. I can only imagine that this has something to do with the recent events in Louisville and Eastern Kentucky that's happening in our judicial buildings courthouse. But that's,
So how many more they want you to hire over there?
they want me to get to my
You
complimentary
said we got
6.
6?
Pardon?
We got 6 now? Is that-
We have more of them than we have patrol people. So I've got, essentially I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7 on there right now.
7 more.
Yeah, I think it's right.
And they want you to have 18?
They want us to have 16. 18 was our original cap. They want us to have 16. I don't think, I'm trying to let's see how this works out. We're gonna have a meeting with the judge, and we're gonna have a meeting with the AOC security specialist. We do have one of those right next door in Collier County, and this here, he's from the western part of the state. So I think we might be able to get to a happy medium. I can't outfit all these people. You all don't have enough money to give us to even outfit all these people, so I can't do what they're asking me to do at the jeopardy of the citizen who's paying the bill on the street. Does that make sense? So they will only pay reimbursement on hourly wage. They will also pay reimbursement on transports. Our court security officers do a tremendous amount of transport for us, and we get reimbursed for that. But as far as me taking equipment money away out of the budget off the road component, I have a real moral obligation conflict with that. So I'm going to try to get to the happy medium with them. But it does look like we'll have to hire at least 2 or 3 more to get us to where we can staff it the way they're telling us.
So I guess my next question is, who determines what to get paid an hour?
That is by the Kentucky General Assembly. The General Assembly recently raised that. I determine the ultimate amount with your all's allocation, but we seek a reimbursement from them, and they pay us $15 an hour for reimbursement. I think currently you only have 2 court security officers that work for us that's a little bit above that, but they are multifunction employees too, so they're not necessarily doing that 100% of the times.
Thank you for driving the road.
Pardon?
Appreciate you driving the road.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
You all should have a copy of the claims. Does anybody have any issues with the claims? It should be vendor claims list is the last 2 sheets. Last 2 sheets of this. Should say vendor claims. We have no issues, we'll deem the claims to be paid. Magistrates, do you all have anything at the moment? Alright, if not, I'll make a motion pursuant to KRS 61-810, subsection 1, section F, executive session for the purpose of hiring, firing, or discipline of an individual employee. We have a second. Second by Manager Fowler. I have the time being 2:05. I'll stop the recording. Brandon, would you hit stop on that one as well?